Anonymous letters that changed lives forever. The last letter. No one noticed when the letters began to arrive. They came without stamps, without return addresses, slipped quietly under doors, or left on cafe tables. Each envelope carried only a name, written in careful, unfamiliar handwriting. The first letter reached a man named Ethan Moore. Ethan was 37, a night security guard who believed life had already passed him by. He lived alone, spoke little, and trusted no one. When he opened the envelope in his small apartment, he expected a bill or a mistake. Instead, the letter began with a sentence that froze him. You still blame yourself for the accident on the bridge. Ethan's hands started to shake. No one knew about the bridge. Not his coworkers, not his neighbors, not even his family. 10 years ago, his best friend had died there, and Ethan had never forgiven himself. The letter continued. It didn't accuse him, it didn't threaten him. It simply described the night exactly as it happened, down to the rain, the smell of metal, the words Ethan never said. At the end, there was one final line. You did what you could. It is time to let go. Ethan reread the letter again. For the first time in years, he slept without nightmares. Across the city, a second letter reached Lena Carter, a young woman working at a small flower shop. Her letter opened with, You keep the yellow roses because your mother loved them. Lena felt her chest tighten. Her mother had died 3 years earlier. Since then, Lena had pretended to be strong, smiling for customers, never crying in public. But every night, she whispered apologies into the dark, believing she hadn't done enough. The letter told her things only a daughter could know, the way her mother hummed while cooking, the promise Lena broke when she was 16. The final sentence read, She knew you loved her. She always did. Lena pressed the letter to her heart and cried in the back of the shop, surrounded by flowers that suddenly felt warmer. Within weeks, dozens of letters appeared. A retired teacher, a failed musician, a woman who never said goodbye, a man who walked away when love was hardest. Each letter revealed a hidden regret. Each letter ended with forgiveness. People began talking. Online forums filled with theories. Some said it was an experiment. Others claimed it was a cult. A few insisted it was a miracle. The media called the writer the silent healer, but no one knew who was sending the letters. Then one letter arrived that changed everything. It was delivered to Daniel Reed, an investigative journalist known for exposing lies. His letter contained only 2 lines. You are looking for me. You won't like the truth. Daniel smiled. He loved challenges. He traced the paper, the ink, the handwriting. He followed delivery times, camera footage, witness accounts. Slowly, a pattern emerged. All the letters originated near the old part of the city, an area scheduled for demolition. At the center of it stood an abandoned hospital. Inside the hospital, Daniel found a single room still in use. In it sat an elderly woman in a wheelchair, surrounded by stacks of envelopes. Her name was Margaret Hale. She didn't deny anything. I write to people who are drowning in guilt, she said calmly, because I know what it feels like. Margaret had once been a nurse in that very hospital. Years ago, a fire had broken out. She had survived. Dozens of patients had not. I lived, she said softly. They didn't. And every day since, I asked myself why. Daniel expected madness. Instead, he found clarity. Margaret explained that after the fire, people had started writing her letters, families, survivors, strangers, telling her she had helped them, that she had mattered. So I decided to return the favor, she said. Not with answers, just with peace. Daniel looked at the final envelope in her hand. Who is that for? He asked. Margaret smiled. For you. Daniel opened it slowly. The letter read, You chase truth because you couldn't save your brother. You believe uncovering stories will make it hurt less. It won't. But loving people while they are still here will. Daniel couldn't speak. Margaret passed away 2 weeks later. No more letters ever appeared. But something had changed. People began writing letters to each other instead. Not anonymous ones, honest ones. And somewhere in the city, guilt finally learned how to rest.